Here we are
in another episode
of the Simple Success Podcast.
And
This is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective.
DT, when you hear the quote, I used to think it was enough to know, but now I think you must also do, what comes to your mind? Can you please repeat that quote, John? I used to think it was enough to know, but now I know you must also do. The first thing that, what? You're not going to say the first thing that comes to your mind is, are you? I'm pretty sure I was, since in fact I was. Oh, you are so predictable, DT. No additional analysis is needed here. Go on. That comes to my mind is you being called, right? May I finish, please? Go right ahead, thou filthy worsted stocking knave. I shall, as I am being called to have a radical attitude shift. Because knowledge in and of itself is not enough. Feels good, right? To finally get it all out? Yes, it does. See, having knowledge and not applying it is not enough. It's not enough to just know. We could even call that method obsolete. Many people have heard and know, for instance, how to become successful, but without applying their knowledge, it's like they're just seated on a gold mine. Like the 3 feet from gold thing you were talking about. Yeah, like that, DT. They only have to change the dial from knowledge to action to change the trajectory of their life. Change the dial? Aren't you mixing metaphors? Well, it's better than mixing metaverses. Okay, I'll give you that.
When you change you change everything.
The change we're talking about in today's podcast is called a paradigm shift. It is the kind of change that propels us to new levels, but only if we take the action necessary to rid ourselves of broad paradigms. I feel you. Paradigms can only be fully shifted by actions and not just knowledge. Right. Now, knowledge is a seed. In basic form, if you do nothing with the seed, though, you'll get nothing. If you take action and sow it, you stand a chance of changing your life and maybe changing others too. As they say, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Paradigm shift can sound like a hard thing for some people. Some people may hear the term and think about the hard job of changing and turning around their lives. Yeah, but it's not as hard as some people make it out to be. Look at it this way. What awaits you at the tail end of the actions you're taking? When shifting the paradigm, shift your perspective as well. Don't be lulled by the comfort and serenity of your present situation, but be lured by better things that await you further down the road. Like someone once said, I did then what I knew how to do, and when I knew better, I did better. Yeah, or my favorite, I used to think X, meaning one thing, but now I think Y, meaning something else. Oh, what better time to ask for an example than now? Well, then do so. Example? Okay, I used to think it was dumb for anyone to lease a car. But now? But now I realize an epiphany, I think that's called. Yes, it is. But now I realize a couple of things. Which are, one, it does make sense in some situations. Like the one you're in? Yes, like that. And two, spoiler alert, the world changes. It does? It does. Are you sure? I'm sure. Anything else before Daniel saves us from you? Just that action is the key to progress.
Break number 1.
Without acting on the knowledge that you possess,
Break number 1.
progress will remain a mirage. A paradigm shift is an important change.
Break number 1.
Yeah, that happens when the usual way of thinking about or doing something is replaced by a new and different way.
Break number 1.
Okay, Daniel, go for it.
Break number 1.
Hello, everyone. This is John with the Simple Success Podcast, financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Because we know you want to show us some serious love in return for the tremendous benefits you get from us. Please head over to the support link in our written show notes. That's the words on your podcast player. There, you can choose from a $9.99 per month doing level of support, a $4.99 knowing level, or a basic intro level of just 99 cents per month. Great place to start, whichever you choose. Thank you so much for helping us do this for you. And to leave us a voice message, which just might see the light of day in a future podcast, go to those same written show notes. You'll go to a site where you can leave a video, audio, or text-only message, depending on how you feel at the moment. You can also send us an audio file attached to an email if you use just more than your phone for stuff. I won't repeat those links because weird. And anyway, show notes. It's all in there, and it's all easy. Oh, it is so wonderful to be back from such an impressive offer. It is refreshing, isn't it, DT?
Oh, and how? Which reminds me,
It does? Of what?
of this. How will you tie paradigm shifting to investing? Huh?
Well, investing is doing the right thing, isn't it?
Depends on who you ask.
If you do it the way I mean for you to do it,
Which is?
having it as another income.
Sounds like an MSI to me.
Well, that's because that's exactly what it is.
So, what's with the quote-unquote right thing?
Well, doing the right thing often helps usher in new thinking.
How's that?
Because it clears up space that you use thinking about doing the wrong thing. It's just a better approach to intelligence gathering.
Ah, you've got that space open for other stuff.
Yes, this is how important stuff has always happened.
You think differently?
You do. It's almost like different database designs.
Any other examples?
Oh, of course. Take the fall of the Iron Curtain. A wall that had for centuries divided the world into two equal halves fell, and with it fell prejudices that were long held across both divides.
People didn't have to spend time thinking prejudiced thoughts.
Right. They kept at it because it was worthwhile, even though the odds were against them.
Some walls can be hard to break through, but it takes that one chisel and hammer and one crack to get the job started.
Yeah, we all have moments in our lives when we are called upon to do something that is supposedly beyond our capability. How we take such challenges, or paradigm shifts, will decide how history will remember us.
Okay, I admit that's a good one. What's a more recent example?
Rockets.
Rockets?
Reusable rockets.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Oh? Where's that?
You're playing another Tesla game, right?
I was pretty sure you are a smart person, DT.
I am a smart person. If I wasn't a smart person, I couldn't be
The what?
the doubting Thomas person that I am.
Nice save, DT.
You're saying?
Since you're smart, I know you meant SpaceX.
And what is your point, please?
Reusable rockets. It's a kind of a paradigm shift to think that those things are only one and done.
And it probably always was that way.
Yeah, only now it makes sense.
It's all a matter of belief.
What if you feel like you don't have what it takes? Or that the wall is too high and it will never tumble?
Well, those are thoughts that come when we are about to make a deciding turn in our lives, when we're about to do something that will change our lives and those of others. These thoughts may come when there is a new investment you want to make, and though you have all the knowledge at your fingertips, your mind still sounds alarm bells.
That's when we silence the alarms with knowledge.
That can work.
And the social context is also critical. The voice of knowledge has to be louder than all other voices. You must silence the voices that are keeping you in stagnation, because if you allow stagnation to persist for too long, it can take a ton of effort to get started.
Yeah, getting started as soon as possible is one of the keys of going with the flow of the paradigm shift. I have to do what I'm supposed to do with the knowledge at my disposal.
Yes, or at least start there. The knowing-doing gap is what can make or break a paradigm shift.
So you'll tie this in, right?
Getting there very soon, DT.
But first, break number 2.
We know a lot about you already because we know ourselves. For example, we know that you know how to listen to our podcast. We also know that you probably know how to subscribe. So as soon as you're done with that, tell us your story. We have ways you can contact us. It involves a special link where you can leave us a message. We may have an email address for you as well in the future, and we'll let you know if that happens. The reason for subscribing? I thought you'd never ask. When you subscribe, you automatically download all future episodes of that podcast. It just happens in your player without you having to go search again. How cool is that? This means better rankings for the podcast, more attention from advertisers, and more money. And this means more and better stuff for you. So your motivation is simple and easy. Subscribe today, whatever app and from whatever place you like. And don't just try to subscribe. There is no try. There is only do. We're changing the way we look at things, and remember, that's good. Eso es buenísimo. Also remember, this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Coaching happiness. Our call to action is right in the show notes. Find it, and you win too.
Hope doth spring eternal.
Really, DT? How so?
Once again, we're at the point where you have to tie this thing all together, and...
Once again, you envision that I will not?
Something like that. Let me increase the air temperature in here.
It's all on how you look at it, my dear DT.
So you'll not have a problem with my doing that?
Not if I ignore you. Let's say, dear listeners, you fill up your minds instead with positive thoughts. Let's say you use your imagination.
Let's say you bought Bitcoin at a penny.
Seems like a dream, but there was a time, DT.
Got any good examples?
Por supuesto. You go to a great investment get-together and meet a lot of big winners.
Yeah?
But then you don't do anything.
What? If you're not going to do something, you might as well not be there.
Which is what I keep saying.
Just do something. Just act.
Those are key questions.
Those? I only put up one question, and I only have one question in mind.
Yep.
I guess artificial intelligence, Fred, has a pretty limited vocab.
And your point is? Oh, I love saying that instead of just hearing it from you.
My point is that he's not the sharpest tool in the AI shed.
Well, perhaps not, but at least he's trying to bridge the gap.
Using the knowing-doing gap that's been around for a couple of decades?
More like a couple of centuries, but right. Bridging the knowing-doing gap is simple. Nothing says it better than Nike's just do it. Just get down to brass tacks and use advanced knowledge. Otherwise, you'll be a victim of too much analysis.
You mean, do what I'm supposed to do regardless?
I mean that. Yes, mean that I do. In fact, looking at this stuff hard can give you the strength you need to beat paradigms and find new successes in the investing game, as well as in all the other games of life.
This does make a difference in investing.
That's right, Daniel. It does. When you hear yourself putting up any excuse, like it's too complicated, it takes too much money,
I don't know the right people.
Of course we don't, Fred.
then you recognize it's a paradigm, a way of thinking, and that there are better ways. Don't let a methodological approach keep you from trying new things.
That calls for broad knowledge.
And aspirations of knowledge.
Which you get in substantial proportion from learning, from answers to questions, from a diversity of individuals, like Napoleon Hill advocates.
So, I'm guessing you have no truck with me saying, I just don't get Bitcoin.
No, I don't, Warren. Though, at least you've never tried to equate cryptocurrency with rat poison like Charlie Munger.
Subject matter experts from a different era, perhaps, or just a couple of artists.
Yeah, or cultural artifacts.
Which means what?
I think he means that you should try it.
Sounds like digital serendipity. And what is I do it, and then I tell us how well it worked.
Because why?
Because it's the future.
Ah, got it, John. With my subconscious mind, I will win this game.
All the best, DT. We're all about winning. With practice, of course.
And repetition.
Which is how you've all gotten good.
Gracias por escuchar.
A la prochaine. This podcast and our other podcast are productions of Little Red Hen Industries. The supporting cast who helps me bake the bread includes
Techno King, John C. Brandy, Fact Checker, Abraham Lincoln, French Consultant, Virginia Mitchell, Media Expert, Favor, Abassi E.K., Psychologist, William James, Rabbit Hole Advisor, Dr. Mark Perrott, Sound Designer, Goodly Amo, Marconi, Spanish Consultant, Cameron J.K. Brandy, Videographer, Alfred Hitchcock, Audio Props, Les Paul, Inspiration, Napoleon Hill and Earl Nightingale.
We also have websites, and you can subscribe to both podcasts and get ebooks and other great stuff. You can send us a video, audio, or text message, but of course, you'll have to head to the show notes, either on your phone or on the web to actually get links and stuff. And those clickable links are in the show notes.
And before we forget, the artificial intelligence or AI voices you hear in our work come from the online tone generator, linked in the show notes.
Finally, you can find us on Podmatch and Listen Notes, where we consider guests and guesting on other pods.
And really finally, the music for our pods comes from Cute by Bent Sound, and from Piano Background by Nick Simon Adams. The sound effects credits go to Jackson Academy Ashmore, Canoe CG, Dr. Jekyll, Joe Payne, Everything Sounds, MK Play More Stories, ERH, and Just Kidding. Yes, that's his name. All on freesound.org.
Paul.